And welcome back. Oh my god. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to something very special. Another CranKy Ducklings broadcast. Welcome to the Universe Titan Cup show match number 4. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me, the one, the only, the beautiful Asher. Welcome.
Hello.
Oh my god. Hello, Asher. Hello. Welcome. It is great to have you here. And I wouldn't have any other person because we have a very special show match, mate. We have our boy. Oh.
This is exactly what I need right now. This is all the copium that I require because I don't think there's any way to win on these maps without cheesing. And up in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is our beautiful Terran from the land of America playing for the CranKy Ducklings. This is the Danger Duck himself, Dolan.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team NV. It is Mondo.
Oh. I can see you're observing. Let's go.
It's been so long.
It's been years, Papi.
It's been years. We've been doing so many replay casts. We can't see each other, Papi.
Been decades.
But yeah, to talk about the event itself, we want to give a massive shout out to Universe. You should be familiar with Universe.
Oh yeah, I played him on ladder a few times.
He's played in Master Swan Open a couple of times as well, back when we had our amateur event running. I want to say a year ago he used to play in it. It has been quite some time, but he is now running his own show matches. He, of course, is a massive lover and supporter of StarCraft, and he wants to do right by his boys. And Mondo has issued a challenge to one of the Ducklings.
Oh. Is there a story behind this? Is Mondo like...
We can make one up.
Is he a purveyor of fine lemonade stands? And he heard on the grapevine, funnily enough, about Dolan's wonderful lemonade stand, and he wants to have it. And Dolan, he's kind of playing it cool. Like he wants to get rid of this lemonade stand, but he doesn't want to be too hasty with it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can make a bit of a sale or something, get something out of it. So he's like, oh no, like don't take my lemonade stand. I need that for all my duck activities.
Little does he know that it's a trap, Papi. It's a trap.
It's a trap. Dolan just runs out of the room, and Mondo's stuck there with a lemonade stand.
Oh god.
Lemons in his hands.
Exactly. All he wanted was grapes, but he gets lemons instead. So yeah, it's really cool. We haven't had too many show matches involving our players. Dolan did recently play in the Ballistic Brawl, if I'm not mistaken, and he did quite well against, I think he played against Hydra, another European Protoss player, but now he's up against Mondo, and I don't believe we've casted Mondo before. He's more of an amateur up-and-coming Korean player, so I'm excited to see what he has to offer as well.
Yeah, 100%, and we'd be remiss not to talk a little bit about the map as well. This is, in fact, on the new maps, which I think this is my first time casting on the new maps. I know they've been at the ESL Open Cups for a few weeks now, but I've only had a few chances to have a look at this map, and I would say out of all the maps in this pool, this is probably the one that I'm least worried about in TvZ. So I think it should be... Should be a pretty good even match between these two. It's still a 7 base map, but I think this is going to become one of the staples in the matchup.
So what you're saying is it's a Terran map, Papi.
I'm saying it's only going to be 48% win rate for Terran instead of 42.
Shaking my head.
Like 2K all over again. 50% Terran map.
Terran map, Papi. But yeah. I mean, a lot of it's really cool and exciting that we're not just playing on the new map pool, but we're also playing on the new balance patch mod as well. Of course, as it is being updated quite frequently. And before we get too ahead of ourselves talking about the map, it looks like Dolan, he's actually going for a BC opener here, 1-1-1 into a faster third CC.
Ooh, very interesting. This is a build that had a little bit of popularity towards the end of that Hardwire map pool. I guess that's the start of last year. People were playing 3CC BC quite a lot, and I think in a meta with lots of big maps, this is going to be something that becomes quite popular. It has been scouted immediately, though, by Mondo, who actually opted to go for an Overlord speed opening. So something that we don't see quite as often these days, but once again, on a bigger map, something we might see a little bit more often.
Yeah, I kind of like this as well from Mondo. Mondo. Oh my,
Mondo.
They could be related. He could also be monorable. I don't know. But especially against a player like Dolan, who can be a little bit tricky, who can be a little bit out of the norm. I do think it's quite important to get that scout off. So I do appreciate that Mondo has opened up this way. We'll see if it's a trend that he goes for every game this series. For the time being, it has paid off.
Yeah, this is funny. I was just talking about this build before we started doing this. This is something that we've seen Clem's played around with this a little bit against the likes of Raynor. So some more, definitely some high quality opponents. This isn't something that Clem's just been whipping out to just trash on people or anything like that. And I know Epic played this against Scarlet, took a game off her quite famously at DreamHack. This is a build that can catch your opponent very off guard if their scouting's not on point, because it looks a bit like it's going to go into mech, but it turns out to be an Arax. Mondo has been on top of his scouting though.
Yeah, exactly. This same Overlord dipped back in, and it's still alive, by the way. Like, this Overlord is insane how much value it's gotten. Mondo did confirm the additional 2 Raxes, so he's fully aware. Meanwhile, the first BC does teleport across the map, but the Queens are in position. Despite that, the target firing was pretty good, and Dolan at least gets a couple of drone kills.
Yeah, a little bit of value here. I would say it's not the best BC ever, and this build does do a lot better, obviously, if you get some good momentum with it. But the most important thing for Dolan is just that he keeps his BC alive.
Yeah, he's able to keep it alive here. He's able to continue to pose a threat and even stem the tide of the creep a little bit from the side of Mondo. We do see Mondo actually, interestingly enough, opting not to go for a Spire. He obviously knows that he's up against Bio, but he's actually going into a Hydroden instead.
Yeah, this is a very fast Hydrogen, so he's looking to go straight into Hydroling Bane to deal with this. It's a pretty interesting choice. I think if Dolan is going for a 3-Rax, pure Ling Bane might be the better style in this situation, but perhaps he just wants a little bit of extra anti-air to help deal with the BC. And there we go, we do see those extra Raxes. It is going to be that 8-Rax.
Yeah, and this is where we start to worry a little bit, right? Because against something hyper-aggressive like an 8-Rax, we wouldn't be spending a lot of our gas on Ling Bane, not as much into these Hydras. So we'll see if Mondo overcommits in that Hydra production, and we'll see if that ends up hurting him in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, looking at his drone count as well, he has stopped at the right drone count, so not going up to the higher 80s or anything like that, just stopped on a pretty safe 76. That should be pretty good for holding this, but Dolan very aggressively pushing straight forward. A little bit of an overextension here.
Oh, definitely. It looks like one of the tanks is immediately going to go down. The second one gets around it as well. The stutter stepping is pretty good. The majorities do survive, but he did lose the backbone of this army.
Yeah, great target firing there. Does lose those couple of tanks though, and that is something that you want to start snowballing, is that tank count. Meanwhile, Dolan's just starting up his combat shields there. Just realizes a little bit late here that he's forgotten it, and that's going to be a big deal against this Ling Bane.
Oh god, it really is. It's going to make the Ling Bane that much more effective, but at the same time, the Marine army is pushing on through towards this base. Ling Bane is rolling on forward. There is one tank behind this.
Ooh. Yeah, his combat shield problem really going to hurt him. I believe that changes to master that stimmed Marines get one shot by +1 banelings. Not 100% sure on that, but it does really affect how this push is going to go. So he's going to have to be on point with his Bane snipes.
Yeah, and so far the target firing on the banelings has been insane, but we do have 5 more banelings being morphed in as we speak. The Hydras are coming out as well. It looks like Mondo is barely holding on.
Oh, yeah, I have to feel for Dolan here, not having combat shields here against that Hydra count as well. It's really brutal. Looks like he's just going to step back for a moment and regroup, maybe wait for that to kick in as well.
Yeah, 2-2's on the way. He's still a couple ways off from that combat shields as well, and immediately Dolan throws down a 4CC, so it looks like he has recognized that this game is going to go on a little bit longer, and Mondo has gotten away with droning. He is getting away with more of these expansions, and the creep is getting a little bit out of control, especially towards the northern portion of the map.
Yeah, we have a nice little run by here that is going to keep Dolan busy. Fortunately, he's not too far ahead with his army or anything like that, but it is just going to be a little bit of an annoying thing to deal with. I think he does want to get pushing once again, just because the army of Mondo at the moment, it's still not the biggest. I think there is quite a lot that Dolan can get done here if he can find a good position.
Yeah, and I will also say that Mondo, it took him a while to start 2-2 as well. It's relatively late, all things considered, so he has been slipping a little bit when it comes to his upgrades. Meanwhile, Mondo, he wants to try and catch his army. Once again, he catches a tank.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this from Mondo. Let's see if the splits are good from Dolan, though. He does get the siege on the tanks. He just gets out of the way of those banelings. Beautifully done.
Oh my god, the tanks do end up getting sieged. The splits are amazing. At the same time, a Ling run-by is hitting that third base of Dolan. Thankfully, there were no banelings here, so the Lings are being cleaned up. This will give Mondo a little bit of time.
Yeah, Dolan very quick to bring that BC home. That BC has so much utility. It's one of the advantages of this build, but does, as you were saying, buy Mondo some time to get those extra banelings up. He's continuing to make a lot of Hydras. I'm not sure how I feel about this. He's done a good job of keeping the tank count down, so it might be okay, but if Dolan can get those tanks into an awkward position, I could see him being in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, definitely. He's up to 15 Hydras right now. Here we go. Dolan is pushing on forward once again from multiple angles. I don't know if there's enough Ling Bane, especially because a lot of the Lings are across the map.
Yeah, Dolan just stands his ground there, guns down those banelings. Going to take some pretty big shots here, but does pull back just in time. That should be most of those banelings. Only 2 or 3 left, and we have a bit of a desperation move. Banelings being morphed right on top of the army of Dolan.
Oh yeah, these Banelings are not gonna finish up here, even without the support of the tanks. The Marines, they stim on forward anyway. The Lings across the map are getting a lot of SCV damage done, but it looks like Dolan has broken through.
Yeah, the third has been broken, but Dolan, he doesn't care. He's just going to break on through. He's going to try to end the game right here, right now. Good scan there. He's going to spot out the last few of those Banelings. Only 3 of those going to be able to finish up here.
Yeah, 3 Banelings. Is that going to be enough? The tanks are going to be sieging on up, and it looks like Mondo is going to be able to push this back.
Yeah, Mondo pushes it back. These are... There we go. The speedy Hydras off creep. They are so quick.
Yeah, true. This is the new mod. They are that much faster. They can stutter step that much better. But here come the reinforcements. The supplies are still relatively close. Dolan did take a big hit earlier. He hasn't rebuilt that wall, and Mondo is getting ready for another run by.
Yeah, I didn't really think about this. Maybe going Hydras against this isn't quite as bad on the new patch just because you have more counterattack potential, but there we go. We have a big run by 7, 8, 9, 10 SCVs going down. The BC just not killing the Lings fast enough.
Exactly. And Dolan, he goes south. Looking at his vision, he doesn't know about the expansion pattern here of Mondo. He doesn't know which bases have been taken, and his army doesn't really do too much, and he's being caught unsieged.
Yeah, very aggressive moves coming out from Mondo here. This can be one of the awkward things about new maps. He's trying to work out where the expansions are meant to be, where the push paths are, but that was a fantastic fight for Dolan. He's going to be pushing forward, and Mondo is suddenly very low on supply. Not too many Banelings here either.
Oh, exactly. It's going to be all about those Baneling connections. Dolan does have an army supply lead right now. Does he have the target firing? Oh, good. Ooh.
Oh, the snipes are good, but one Baneling sneaks through there, and sometimes one is all it takes. Very nice connections there from Mondo, and suddenly we're very heavily in his favor when it comes to the supply, the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. The BC finally goes down, and with the BC falling, that is the momentum that you were talking about. Dolan, if he didn't take that one Baneling connection to the face, he probably could have kept on pushing. Now you could argue, is Mondo overextending? A lot of Hydras are going down, a lot of Banelings are being denied here. This is getting very scrappy.
Yeah, this is going down to the wire. I am a little bit worried about Dolan just because he doesn't have any SCVs at that third. Lost all the depots there as well. That definitely hurt him quite a lot. He has transferred, it looks like, most of the SCVs over to his PF. I think that's a really nice decision there, but at the same time, there are just, continued run-bys here. Such a pain for him to deal with.
Oh my god, exactly. These run-bys are such a nuisance. In the beginning, they weren't doing too much, but over time, as you were saying, Dolan never remade that wall. They have been getting more and more value. Dolan is going for a little bit of drop play. He finally has eyes on the fresh expansions here of Mondo, but it may just be a little bit too late.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where as it starts to get further on into the game, this is where knowing the map matters quite a lot. Having a look at this map now as well, the way that it's playing out, it's kind of reminding me a little bit of Berlingrad, where once the map starts to spread out and all the bases get taken towards the edges, it does become a bit more Zerg favored, but at the start, there's a lot of potential for Terran to do damage.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like pushing power here at the start of the game, and we saw it, right? We saw Dolan almost break on through and almost just end the game a little bit prematurely, but now things are going on a little bit longer. Things are starting to slow down. Dolan is doing a decent job at keeping Mondo back at home, and now we're getting into our Hive Tech. 3-3 is now starting for Mondo. He's getting into his Vipers. Dolan is still in 2-2. Dolan still hasn't transitioned into anything like Ghost or anything like that.
Yeah, every second that goes on that Dolan isn't transitioning into Ghost, I'm getting a little bit worried for him here, because I think this far into the game, especially considering the creep, considering the expansion pattern as well, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Marine Tank to work. This is a very open area to have to push through here.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many avenues of attack available for Mondo. He can come in from multiple angles. Looks like Mondo is going to give up this base, or a hatchery is going to go down. Dolan is at least getting this. Oh, and he does get a decent snipe there on a Viper, I believe. Yeah, he caught a Viper as it came out from those eggs, so that will clue Dolan in that he needs to get into Ghosts.
Yeah, nice pick off there. Mondo instead going to be going for a bit of a counter attack here. These are Lings going to be taking out the Marines, and the Banelings, they're going straight for that mineral line, but Mondo not paying attention either. Looks like he'll be just fine there. Even takes out the Orbital.
The Orbital goes down, and here we go. Dolan, he's pulling the trigger. Once again, he's ahead in the army supply. That's a lot of liberation. A lot of freedom zones are being set up right now here. So Dolan, his position isn't looking too bad here, but can he push on through? Oh.
Yeah, he's looking to push through, but he's on creep. He's in a very open area. The Viper's going to be blinding clouding on those tanks. They miss one, but still very effective cleanup here for Mondo. It does look like he's taken out enough almost to be safe. These liberation zones pose a little bit of a problem, but there's no Marines left. Yeah,
there's no Marines remaining here. Liberators, they unsiege and come back home instead. Liberators are actually going to be able to take out the Viper, so not bad. The stutter stepping is real, and things are still quite close, but Dolan, look at the SCV count. Look at the workers right now. Like, he is running out of money real quick, real fast.
Yeah, running out of money, running out of steam, and that orbital that he had over there at that third is gone as well. Looks like a little bit of a run by being set up here by Mondo. Not sure if it's going to be able to get too much done here at the PF, but Dolan's going to have to work a bit of magic to get himself back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a lot of army, don't get us wrong, but it's a little bit deceiving. You know, the army supply is a little bit inflated because that's a lot of medevacs. Looking at the units tab here, we have 11 medevacs available, and because of that, Dolan can't really move out. The longer this goes on, Mondo, he is stabilizing, he is rebuilding.
Yeah, and there we go. That 3-3 going to be kicking in. Adrenal already here as well. Just continuing to pump the Ling Bane Hydra. So it looks like no real intentions yet of going to any Hive Tech Tier 3 units. I think that makes sense based on how scrappy this game has been so far.
Yeah, trying to invest into anything like Broodlords or even Ultras just isn't really feasible at the moment for Mondo. We do see Dolan has lifted up his main base and he's actually expanding towards the south instead. I do think this is a wise choice just because there's kind of very little creep in this area. The likelihood of Mondo attacking here is a little bit low, so Dolan, his economy it's still in there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting back on top. The 3-3 is still quite a ways off here. Should be able to get a deny on this hatchery. Looks like he's caught Mondo a little bit out of position, but Mondo is continuing to counterattack every time.
Yeah, here we go. The Ling run by is going towards the fresh mining base of Dolan. At the same time, Dolan also getting some drone kills towards the north. He is going to get the hatchery in the end that he is going to be able to pick up and get out of there.
Yeah, and there we go. Every single SCV over there at that fourth does go down, and this is really starting to hurt for Dolan. Oh, his Marauder's going to be pushing back these few Lings, but yet another counterattack being set up by Mondo. So this looks like how Mondo wants to be playing this. He does prefer to just kind of go this way and that way and get the damage with his counterattacks. And there we go, going to be marching on into these liberation zones. Viper's getting some good yoinks on the tanks.
Oh yeah, 2 tanks are going to be going down here. It looks like Dolan's army was in position though. He's going to be able to fend off Mondo for the time being. But as we can see, Dolan, he's kind of caught between two mines. He wants to be aggressive, he wants to attack, but he also needs to make sure that this base gets up and running. And he's being pulled apart. Another Ling run by is coming in, but this time Dolan is ready for it.
Yeah, Dolan is ready, but I think he was wanting to go for a Doom Drop there, which I really like the idea of having a Doom Drop, maybe even bringing the Liberators to cover that ramp. Considering how low the supply is of Mondo, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea at all. And we are pretty choked up towards that area at the front as well. That could be quite effective.
I agree. Like, it wouldn't be a bad option. Dolan, will see if he does go for it. I think he should recognize as well that he does have a lot of supply to work with, and he unsieges everything. He's sending everything towards the northern portion of the map. Once again, he's quite vulnerable to a run by, but if Mondo doesn't go now, then Dolan is going to be able to pick off another base.
Yeah, I mean, Dolan continues to pick off these bases. Mondo not expanding at the fastest rate here, and it does look like we are just going to go for a little bit of a shove through the middle. Does think better of it, drops that scan, sees what's coming, and I have to think that Dolan might be starting to get a bit of an idea of the rhythm of Mondo as well, that these counterattacks are going to be coming every time he attacks. I hope to see some adjustments in the next game to that.
Yeah, I hope so as well. As 18 SCVs go down, Dolan is down to 11 workers right now. And he, oh god, I just want him to send it so bad. It's so tempting. At the same time, pushing onto creep isn't the wisest thing, but like Dolan is hurting so badly. Sure, he gets a hatchery, but he doesn't get the drones, and that's what's important right now. The drone count for Mondo has been left relatively untouched throughout this game, and because of that, his economy, he's been able to sustain himself.
Yeah, I think at this point, the only option Dolan has left is to try to force a fight, and it looks like he is just going to be going straight down the center of the map. Mondo hasn't really been creeping this area, so it's a good push path here, but Dolan's got to be careful not to lose his army. Huge blinding cloud.
Oh my god, the blinding clouds cover every single one of these tanks, but the Lings get cleaned up, and there's not a lot of supply left on the ground. Dolan can still pull this off.
Oh, yeah, and those Banelings, they are being wasted on the Marauders. They're going to be going down. The Marauders not that important when it comes to fighting the Hydras, and looks like Dolan is actually breaking through this army. Even takes out the Vipers, and only one Baneling left. GG is called. Wow.
Oh my god, GG Dolan. For the majority of that game, it felt like he had like half the work count of his opponent, but he was efficient enough. His fights were good enough. He's able to go for the kill, and he's crazy. He takes game one.
He had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything he ever wanted. And he didn't let it slip.
He didn't let it slip. Let's go. GG, well played. That was Dolan just messaged me. Imagine combat shields.
Yeah.
This game should have been over like 10 minutes ago, like 15 minutes ago, if only.
I felt the pain. I felt the pain so bad when I was looking at those trades and they were that close without combat shields. I was just like, yeah, like this would have been a really clean win. A pretty simple win if he had combat shields there.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's, yeah. Oh god, regardless, GG, well played. Oh my god, Dolan's able to take a lead in this series, but it's a best of 7. We have plenty more games to come, and I'm happy for that because that was very close. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to say it shouldn't have gone to Dolan, but that was probably the only scenario where he won at the end of that game, is getting some insane fight with that army right there and then. I think he had to force a fight, and maybe Mondo could have delayed a little bit more there. At the same time, I do think that it's really nice for Dolan that he got the win in that game, because Mondo has a very particular style. I'm noticing already. He has a certain rhythm to his attacks that he very often goes for, and I think Dolan will be able to pick up on that and process that just from that one game, and we'll be able to make some adjustments based on that.
I agree. You know, for those who are maybe tuning in and aren't familiar with Dolan, like, he's a very methodical player. You know, he likes to think things through, and because of that, I do think that over the course of this series, he will be adapting to Mondo. I do think that out of the two players, there's a lot more information publicly available on Dolan. So Mondo, he's already coming in semi-prepared, and I feel like Dolan is the one who's learning a little bit more on the fly.
Yeah, as are we, with this player spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. So Koreans are in the blue playing for Club NV. This is Mondo.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the American Terran player. He is yellow, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan. And as we get into this game, I want to give a massive shout out to Miguelito, papi. Shout out to another duckling who I'm assuming woke up and totally hasn't been awake all night and is being a degen.
No, that.
Oh.
He's in Japan.
Oh, true. I forgot. Yeah. He's with the waifus. True. Shout out to Vindicta for resubbing in the chat. Thank you so much here, cheering for his brother in arms as Vindicta enjoys the anime waifus in Japan.
Oh, beautiful.
It's beautiful. If you want to keep up to date with what Vindicta is up to, then join his Discord or follow him on Instagram. I'm sure he's willing to post photos, safe for work or not safe for work, when available.
Yeah, both.
As we're getting into this. I haven't looked at the photos myself, so I'm not going to comment on what Mix has been up to in Japan.
He's just been eating food, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
And he hung out with a minion.
He's been eating more than food. I did see that.
Oh. I mean, he always eats that. He doesn't have to be on holiday to eat that.
True. I was in a call with Kuro, and she's like, "God damn it, Migs." I'm like, "What?" And she posted a screenshot. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I see."
Well, here we go. We are starting things off with a little bit of a different opening coming out from Dolan. This time going to be going for a double gas rather than a 3cc opening. I think that opening in that last game went quite well, but that's kind of a one-use build. You can't really do that a couple times in a row, and I think if he did do it again, we wouldn't see Mondo going for Hydras once again. But we do get a drone there. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, a drone going down is huge. Dolan flexing his Reaper control a little bit here. He's also looking to be a little bit annoying and dip in whenever the tumor gets thrown down. Mondo is aware of that. He wants to try and push this back as we have another 1-1-1 opener.
Yeah, so me going for that 1-1-1 once again. Looking to maybe be a little bit more aggressive. I wouldn't hate a Hellbat build on this map just because you probably don't want it to play out too much. This is definitely one of the bigger maps in the pool. It's very open throughout the center as well, so I don't love the idea of playing a big macro TvZ here, especially because there's 9 bases. Actually, maybe, is it 8? It is 8. Okay,
yeah,
it's 8.
Eight bases. That's a lot of bases. It's oh my god! Oh, as we almost see another drone going down. This Reaper is a little bit stuck though, so it should be going down. I think it was last weekend we casted ESL Olympic Asia, and we ended up casting like a 40-minute ZVP on this map.
Yeah, it's big.
It's
a big one.
Is quite big, which typically favors the Zerg, but we'll see how things go here as we actually do have a bit of an add-on switch, but we have a Liberator on the way.
Yeah, so that Reaper got a full scout that he had pulled off gas, so there's no way that it's ever going to be a roach attack. I think possibly Dolan might have been looking to go for a safety Banshee, but instead just makes a Liberator, and is going to be going for an Armory behind this. Very interesting. So I think it is going to be some kind of Hellbat push.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with that Armory, it should be Hellbats. Ooh, the Lings go for a bit of a run-by, but they get roasted on up. This was a big investment into these Lings from Mondo, and he lost so many of them.
Yeah, they were very early Lings, and they are absolutely crucial when it comes to making this hold, especially because he's droning right now. I think he is in a lot of trouble.
Oh my god, now is not the time to drone. We do not have a Bailey Nest, by the way. Looking at the units tab, we have 7 Queens. Not too bad, but they aren't brought to the forefront here. Mondo doesn't know about the Hellbat push.
Yeah, I think he would much prefer to be going for a 9-queen build here if you want to hold without Banelings. And it does look like we're going to get some pretty good lineups there on the drones. These Hellbats, they are unsupported by Marauders or by Medevacs or anything like that, but they're getting on top of the Queens.
Yeah, the Queens. There's not too much stutter stepping going on, so one Queen is going to be going down. The Lings as well. Mondo just lapsing a little bit in the control here, a little bit distracted by the Liberator.
Yeah, Liberator going to be getting a little bit of damage. The Hellbat's going to be cleaning up a couple more drones as well. They got a decent amount of queens, decent amount of drones, and it's not a huge investment coming out from Dolan, but he did go for a 2cc build, so he's a little bit behind in that regard. It looks like he's going to be transitioning into mech behind this. I don't mind that at all, but Mondo, already thrown down a Roach Warren here, so it looks like he's coined onto this.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's doing the Thor drops. Let's go.
Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Not quite Quanta, but close enough, mate. We got 2 Thors on the way. We got +1 attack as well. Alongside this, you love to see it, Papi. So, and again, like, this is a great map for, you know, it's large, which, I mean, you know, when it comes to late game scenarios, can be a little bit frustrating or maybe not what we're looking for. But I feel like Dolan, especially from his early game, has a lot of freedom to get into aggressive play like this.
Yeah, he does have that extra room to move. He's going to be getting that third up and running, and I think he does need to get some aggression going pretty soon. The Zerg is being able to drone pretty heavily, unchecked just because of all that damage that they cleaned up, but it does look like this game is fairly even, and with the aggressive potential that Dolan has here, I do favor him a little.
Yeah, I want to agree, you know, because he's going to be going not just for a drop, but he's been pumping out non-stop Hellions as well. He can go for some run-bys. Blue Flame is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Third base has been scouted. The lack of workers may be noted here by Mondo as he is pumping out roaches.
Yeah, I think seeing that base there and seeing the gases are saturated before anything else should be pretty clear to Mondo that this is going to be mech, as we do see the first Thor drop going to be heading out. Looks like it might be intended to deny a base here.
Oh yeah, here we go. The Thor drop is moving on now. Does actually catch wind of all these roaches, so he's able to scout this at least. Hellions are going to engage, and the Thor's coming from behind.
Yeah, Thor's going to be getting whatever damage they can. Looks like Dolan flexing his micro a bit as well, trying to dodge those roach shots. If he can dodge a full focus fire volley of that, of the roaches, that would be really high value though.
Yeah, it really would. The Thor's even getting a couple of overlords as well. This time he isn't going to be the most ideal against
drop on
these.
them.
Oh, he's Hellbat dropping on the roaches.
Let's go. Didn't really work out, but it was very cool.
Yeah, you know, style points. But as we can see, the roaches are going to be able to push on forward here. Ooh, but if they move a little bit too far, they're going to overextend and they're going to take some tank shots to the face.
Yeah, we drop back to the tanks there, get some pretty good damage. Still very rough trade for Dolan. That went really poorly.
Yeah.
But we get a little bit of compensation at the end there. Looks like it's going to be Swarm Host as a follow-up for Mondo. Considering the lack of BCs, this is a very good choice here. This is kind of the old school way of dealing with mech, and I think on Dolan's low economy and without too much anti-air, this is going to be very effective.
Yeah, I agree. Like, we saw the infestation bit being thrown down a little bit earlier, and we see why it is for all these swarm hosts. No Nidus play, but I don't think we need any because of how large this map is. And now Dolan is going to be the one on the back foot. How much damage is this going to really do? We did see a bit of a scan, but it did miss the army, and here we go. Mondo is pushing in.
Yeah, a small little scan there is going to try to work out where those tanks are, and I think he's going to look to attack with this Swarm Host wave, and I really don't know if Dolan has enough to deal with this. A Hellbat position is going to have to be very effective, but oh, he morphs them out just at the worst time possible here.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't expecting the Locust wave. It comes on in. One tank goes down immediately. The second tank actually survives. So Dolan not actually getting too bad of a trade there.
Yeah, a lot of roaches went down there as well. Slightly mistimed on the swoop there by Mondo.
Yeah, definitely. And now Dolan has a little bit more time to mentally prepare for the next wave. He does have Slack Loans on the way. He's got his sensor tower as well. He has eyes on these locusts, and we'll see how good the second wave is going to be.
I do worry for Mondo as well. His economy is very poor. He's doing this off a very low drone count.
Oh, he really is. He's only on 67 drones right now. But you see Locust Wave coming in. 2 tanks go down this time, so a much better engagement here.
Yeah, pretty good damage coming out from those Locusts, but once again, venturing a little bit too far into tank fire. As long as you can keep these roaches alive, it should be a decent situation for him, but Dolan just has to survive here. He's on a much better economy. He's going into a better quality army as well, so he just needs to hold on for as long as he can.
He really does. He's going for some Liberator harass. He's having a little bit of issues with it, though. One Liberator is going to go down in the main base. The other siege is up here at the natural. No reaction from Mondo, so drones are falling, and Mondo, his economy already was struggling.
Yeah, nice little bit of damage there, and does kind of abuse the fact that he took out those queens in the early game. I like these turrets coming out from Dolan. They could mess up the aggro as well, a little bit of the swarm host. And yeah, once again, going to be losing a lot of roaches in this attack.
Yeah, Mondo being a little bit wasteful here, and I worry because, you know, the advantage with these swarm hosts of these locust waves is that they're relatively mobile. You don't have to just keep going for these frontal engagements. He could have been trying to go for the main, go for some night display, go for some of the fringe bases, and Dolan is kind of getting away with this. He's slowly maxing out, but the roaches finally find a way in, and Dolan was out of position.
Yeah, good rotation there. A little bit of a miscontrol though. These cyclones are going to do a great job of just taxing Mondo every time that he dips in and out.
Oh god, exactly. Once again, taking a couple too many shots to the face. Mondo, he comes back in, but at the cost of a couple more roaches.
Yeah, and there we go. He's trying to force his way in here, just trying to force these tanks to reposition. Stormhost going to be diving here, but very quick pull out of the way by Dolan. Not going to be losing much else other than these turrets and a couple depots.
Oh, exactly. So very nicely done, especially because Dolan didn't really have anything here in position to defend. We do see another rotation coming in from Mondo. The roaches are coming in to try and catch some of these transferring workers. They end up fighting with the army, but they can't really go head to head with this.
Yeah, Mondo doesn't have much of a bank either. He really needs to be careful when he's doing this.
He really does. More roaches are falling. The swarmers are coming in. Here we go. The locust wave is ready.
Yeah, can these locusts find the tank line? That could be a very effective target. Looks like the Hellbat's not quite in position here, but he's going to be dropping back to the tanks now.
Yeah, and here we go. The tanks are going to be going off. Ooh, they do actually siege up just as the locust wave gets cleaned up, so very minimal friendly fire overall. The tanks are a little bit far behind, but despite that, Dolan is still trading relatively well. I say that Dolan needs a little bit more time to remax, though.
Yeah, both Thors go down here. Dolan looking like he's heading into a little bit of a supply block as well, so that could become a problem in a moment. The Swamp Host slightly overextended. Once Dolan gets into a higher cyclone count, he can start to maybe chip away at these.
Yeah, I just worry. I'm waiting for the moment when he realizes that he has to make depots right now. He lost maybe a little bit too many, and his third base, the Locust Wave, are coming in.
Yeah, but great focus fire coming out from the tanks. Takes out every single Roach and Ravager. That was a very poor attack there by Mondo, losing all of his Roaches and Ravagers, and he is going to be replacing them. He has the money for it, so it looks like he's been able to get his economy back up a little bit. We see Dolan trying to scan to work out exactly what kind of situation he's in.
Yeah, it does put the hive, does put the upgrades on the way. Here we go. Depots are being thrown down. So Dolan will soon be out of the supply block, but this is really hurting him. This is really helping Mondo, keeping him in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of energy on that CC as well. Maybe could throw down a bit of a supply drop, but behind this, he is making some extra CCs, and this powerful bank is really going to help him out. I think he realizes that Mondo is quite low on drones still.
Yeah, potentially. Meanwhile, Mondo, he finds a way in. Once again, the tanks were a little bit too far back, so the Roaches are able to deny some more mining here at the third base of Dolan. Does reposition his tanks, so Mondo should really be taking this opportunity to just mass expand right now. The Roaches are coming back in.
Ooh. Yeah, big shots go off on those Roaches, those +2 tanks doing so much damage to them. Mondo is getting up into those 5 bases here, and he is starting to tech a little, but I'm still not in love with that economy. Only on 65 drones right now. I understand the Stormhosts take out quite a lot of supply, but we are going to have to transition at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So because of that, it's kind of hard to really say if Mondo's in a good enough position. Here we go. Another Locust Wave is coming on in. This time, a lot of these tanks are going to be going down.
Yeah, good fight for Mondo. One of the best Locust Waves he's had in a little while here. We'll be taking out quite a few of these tanks, but we can see as time passes on, with Dolan having such a better economy, the supplies are getting closer and closer.
They really are. I also have to wonder if maybe it's worth replenishing those Thors that we lost earlier, because there can be some value there to get a couple of shots off on the Locust Waves as they are still in the air. For the time being, we just have mass Hellion tank being produced from Dolan.
Yeah, there we go. Next Locust Wave going to be going on in. Looks like a bit of multi-prong being set up by Mondo. He has timed this pretty well once again, and those Biles get very good connections.
Yeah, a lot of tanks go down. I think 3-4 tanks went down in the blink of an eye. We do see Mondo diving quite deep with these roaches, though, and he's going to be punished for it.
Yeah, once again, a pretty big overextension by Mondo, and he's pretty low on the money as well. Finally, for the first time in this game, we see the supply just for a moment there swaying in the favor of Dolan, and I think he senses that as well. He is starting to push out a little bit here. He's going to have to be careful that he doesn't get his tanks caught unsieged on creep.
Yeah, he does have to be careful. He does force the creep back at least a little bit, but the Locust Wave has been replenished, a recharge here for Mondo. We do see the space towards the north being taken from Dolan, but his army is out of position and the Locust Wave is coming in.
Yeah, pretty quick lift coming out from Dolan. Looks like these SCVs are going to be going down. The CC should be okay, though. We do see the tanks trying to come in, trying to save these SCVs. But Mondo, he can just protect himself with these locusts.
Yeah, exactly. 8 SCVs go down. 9. Oh, almost 10. Almost every SCV just went down. Now he's at his most vulnerable because the Locust Wave is, of course, on a cooldown. And we do see the tanks were unsieged for a moment.
Yeah, they were unsieged, but once again, Dolan is starting to approach that maxed out unit count, and I am a little bit worried for Mondo here. He hasn't really progressed along this tech tree, and we do see +3 attack from Dolan and only +1 armor from Mondo.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Mondo's upgrades are a little bit lacking here, and I'm wondering if maybe Mondo is going to end up going for a base trade instead. Actually, no, he still continues to try and engage with the army.
Oh dear, he's bleeding off so many roaches here, and he doesn't have the bank to replenish this.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and rebuild. The Locusts are finally getting called out. A couple of Swarmers are being picked off here. 3 of them go down. Oof.
Yeah, Dolan here is sensing the momentum. He's going to start to go onto that creep with the tanks, leapfrog them forward. This is a very nice choke here if he can hold that.
Yeah, exactly. And so far, this is not the fight that you want to be taking, Mondo. He takes another kind of a bad trade here onto that ramp. And we do see Dolan is not stopping.
Yeah, Dolan running on forward. This is a beautiful position here for the tanks. They're starting to split up the bases from each other, making it very awkward to reinforce, and I think he can start slow pushing straight down the center here.
Yeah, more of these Swarmers are getting picked off one after another. Here we go, the leapfrog of the tanks. The Locust Wave is coming on in, but again, there just aren't enough Locusts.
Yeah, Dolan smells the blood here. These tanks are getting so much damage. These roaches exploding everywhere. Looks like a game of Diablo right now.
Everything is exploding right now, and even Dolan is in his own way as he's pushing on through. A lot of files are connecting, but GG gets called, and Dolan takes game number 2.
GG. Very interesting game coming out from those two players, and beautiful drawn out defense by Dolan to hold on there.
Oh boy. Very beautiful defense there. We saw that Mondo, he had a lot of map control and he had a lot of freedom to expand and drone up if he wanted to, but he didn't. We saw that it wasn't really something that he was too interested in. He was a lot more aggressive. He was maybe hoping to get a little bit more momentum early on and break one of those bases. But as you pointed out, the defense from Dolan is too good.
Too good indeed. Too strong, too powerful, too explosive.
Oh yeah, too a little bit too explosive there, and now we have a nice 2-0 lead from Dolan, you know, and he's been able to flex a little bit with his bio, flex with his mech as well. He was able to take the game on a map that you were concerned about, a bit more of a late game oriented map, but that's what mech is for.
There we go. We've seen the way. That actually, I think that is going to be a mech map. Mech makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah. They're all mech maps, papi. Oh my god, as of course we are going to be getting ready for game number 3. And game 3, oh, is going to be on one of the smaller maps. It's going to be on Altitude.
It is. Do you just call this one of the small? Are you trying to trigger me?
Am I mistaken?
Altitude's giant.
Oh, never mind. It's a big
This is
map.
Pride of Altara's V2.
Oh, okay. It's over.
I'm smudging already, puppy.
Oh god, what were the small? Hold on. What's the map pool? I know there are two
the small
maps.
ones.
Yeah.
The smaller ones. smaller.
Uh-huh.
I think Royal Blood and Neo Humanity are small.
Yeah, I think Royal Blood is definitely one of them. Yeah, maybe those two. Yeah.
Neo Humanity is like the bright yellow one.
Fair enough.
With the rocks that you can break through the middle. Yeah. Speaking of a bright yellow, in the bright yellow befitting a duck, and in the top right-hand corner of this map, it is our very own CranKy Duckling. It is Dolan.
What? It's snowing, Poppy. It's snowing.
It's cold.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team NV. It is Mondo.
So, just to legitimize my complaining about the maps a little bit, I was watching a Zombie Grub stream where she had some Lambo coaching. So I don't know if you know about this, but before every TvZ, Zombie Grub pays a few coaches. I think she just gets one of each race of pro players to just coach her on the current meta of each race and what's going on. And they'll kind of talk through the maps, talk through some games, tell her what they're expecting to see at TvZ. So Lambo was talking a little bit about the maps. He said, in TvZ, this map specifically is an insta-veto. And then from there, in a best of 3, he said Ancient Cistern is your next one.
Yep.
So this is a map that I think he even compared it to Pride of Voltaris. We have very big open spaces throughout the center. We have a lot of bases. We have gold bases. Yeah, this is going to be one where you want to end the game fastest, Terran, if you end up here as you would on a best of 7.
Definitely. So fun fact, this is actually my first time casting Altitude. I've been able to cover some of these weekly tournaments on the new map pool, but every single time this map gets vetoed. Yeah, I think it's going to be a Pride of Altara situation where we're going to get to the end of the season and there's going to be like 50 pro games played on this map. Yeah, like maybe just mirror matchups on this map, maybe.
And best of 7s,
Yeah, exactly. And I guess to touch on that, one, I'm excited because this is my first time casting on Altitude, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that too often. But because this is a best of 7, there are no vetoes, right? So because of that, Mondo is able to force these bigger maps earlier on, and I assume that's what he did. And now I have to wonder, what does Dolan do on a map like this? We saw mech earlier. Are we going to see it again on a map like this?
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to be wanting to go for maybe a BC-based mech this time. He's going to be going for a double gas opening, so not going for 3cc. Definitely looking for some aggression in the early game once again. Yeah, I think that does make sense. I think a Hellbat build would be nice as well. Oh, don't attack your injured. The nerves, puppy.
Mate, I was talking to Dolan. A couple of days ago. He's like, "Why did he call me out?" I'm like, "Mate, you're the danger, Dolan, puppy." Like, he wants to prove himself.
It is interesting. I mean,
yeah. I think so.
I wonder if he hit him on ladder and he got a good impression or something. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he saw him playing some games in the World Team League. Yeah,
I mean, I would say that we're, slowly a higher profile team. We're a World Team League team, technically. And Dolan, he's had some mixed success. So maybe Mondo wants to try and prove himself. Maybe he's like, okay, maybe I can do something against...
I can beat this guy.
Yeah, I can do something against one of the Ducklings here. And I mean, the games have been pretty close. Like, they've been really good. They've been really entertaining, to give him credit, definitely. But we'll see how things go here as we do see Dolan slipping on in, and he does get eyes on a relatively early lair.
Yeah, we get the full scout. We see the lair. We see that Mondo is still mining gas, just on the 1 gas for now. So a little bit suspicious. It does look a little bit like a Nidus build to me, and considering some of the greedy openers that Dolan's been going for, I think that would make a lot of sense for it to be one.
Definitely. The gases haven't been taken here. We have a lot of lings on the way and multiple queens being produced as well. Nidus would make a lot of sense, and there we go. Nidus is thrown down. At the same time, Dolan is going for a Hellion drop, so things are going to get real wild real quick here, as Dolan is also patrolling his marines in his main, looking to deny any kind of vision.
Yeah, it looks like Dolan has it worked out roughly what he is going to be facing here, so he's going to be looking around to try to deny any of that. We have that first BC on the way as well. BC can actually be quite good against this. It will clean it up eventually. I mean, you still have to stop that Nidus from getting up, but if you can stop a few Niduses, it's going to be great. But the drones line up and the reaction is quite slow from Mondo. 13 drones going down, and if he wasn't all in before, he is in a very all-in position now.
Oh my god, he has to go in right now. Here we go. The Nidus is on the way. The Lings are flooding across the map. The Hellions are still doing a lot of damage. Mondo turns around to help deal with them.
Yeah, and this is crisis management mode for Dolan. Does he see that Nidus going up? He pulls immediately. Is it getting on top of that? It is going to get up. The Queen gets out, but the Queen does not get the transfuse. That's huge.
Yeah, the Queen goes down. So does the Nidus. The wall is still a wall. I spoke too soon. Lift, puppy, lift. Ah! Does lift in time.
It's baiting him.
Taunting him, puppy. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, looking at that Nidus, there are 6 queens. They're in there. They're loaded. They're chomping at the bit. They say, let me at him. Let me get in there. Let me fight.
Let me in, puppy. Let me in.
Let me in. I can't get there myself anymore. I got nerfed, puppy.
Ay, ay, ay. And Dolan says no. He goes for a scan. He wants to try. He's trying to get eyes on whether or not more gases have been taken to see if maybe there's a Spire transition. He does spot the Nidus on the way. And I believe our first BC is out.
Yeah, there we go. That BC can go straight across the map now, or it can help deal with this Nidus, either one. Maybe it's just going to hang back to try to help deal with the queens, but there is not going to be anything at home to deal with that if it goes across. Looks like instead he's going to be sending the Hellion drop.
Yeah, we do have the Hellion drop. This is forcing Mondo to send a lot of Lings back at home to defend. Meanwhile, I like this from Mondo. He's actually throwing down Niduses all around the map to spread creep.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to try to be annoying with that. Ooh, very smart move by Dolan. That really caught me off guard. I was so sure he was Yamatoing one of the queens, but he traps 3 queens instead. Very clever player.
Wow, even pulls some boys as well, as he's just sending it. He's going across the map. He wants to try to end the game, puppy.
This is his TvZ build from his YouTube. I've seen this before. You go 2 base and then you pull every SCV from your natural and you just send it, puppy.
Oh my
This is what I do when I'm completely dead and I just want to be annoying.
You're like when I'm smudging, puppy. Let's go. And I mean, what do we have at home to defend? We have Lings that aren't going to do anything to these Hellbats. We have some Queens, but emphasis on the Sun. There's not too many.
I really love the positioning here from Dolan. He's using the Hellbats to shield those SCVs so that they can be used to heal up the BC.
Yeah, the repairs are on point. That was a denial on the Roach Warren, by the way, so no Roaches are going to be produced here. The BCs, Yamadas are going off for the Queens.
Yeah, there's no energy on these Queens. They can't transfuse these 2 BCs. There's no answer for them.
Oh my god. There is no answer. And just like that, the workers are pulling the Lings as well, and there's only a single Queen left.
He's smudging him, puppy.
This is send this bot to Faz. Send it to Faz. Ay, ay, ay. GG gets called and Dolan takes game 3.
GG, and I have to say, that was probably the first match that we've had this series. It's been a little bit more one-sided. That was really well done by Dolan. Obviously, that Hellion drop doing so much damage was huge there.
Oh my god. Oh. GG. Yeah, honestly, so I was really shocked by everything that was happening. Like, by the fact that he was going for an all-in on a larger map like this, right? And I think that just goes to show that maybe he's not too confident. Maybe he didn't want to play late game against Mech. But unfortunately, because everything got scattered so early on, Dolan just shut him all down. It was crazy.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think maybe it's just the execution that was a little bit lacking, but to go for a Ling Queen Nidus against someone who's been playing BC every game, that makes a lot of sense. I think it is a really good plan, and if that Nidus had gotten up in the main, Dolan would have been in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I mean, it's those 2 key elements. It was denying the Nidus, and it was getting all that damage with the Hellions. And yeah, looking at that work as active graph, it looks like one of those inspirational posters where it's like if you fall down, Yeah, get back up, fight through that valley, roll that boulder up that hill.
Roll it up, Poppy. Roll it up. Oh my god, I did not expect the series to go this way. Like, obviously, like I love Dolan dearly. He's one of my boys, but I didn't expect him to be this far ahead in this series this quickly. So far a pretty good showing here. We'll see if he can close it out. I would not have called a 4-0.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. We have had some very close games, and hopefully Mondo's confidence not broken too much by that last game. I think it was a good plan, but we are going to be hoping for something a little bit different this time as we go into Gressfan. So once again, this is a very wide, very open map. A little bit on the shorter side, I believe. Yeah,
a little bit on the shorter side here. Oh boy, as we are going on in, I love this. The Terrans are coming out. For those who don't know, I should have said this earlier. Jinio is casting in Korean, and Control is going to be casting with Jinio as well. So the Terran on Terran action. Oh,
let's go. I'm with my people.
I'm surrounded by Terrans. I feel alone, Papi.
Not just any Terrans, ape Terrans, Papi.
True.
As here we go on match point, on 4 match points. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, it is the American Terran in the yellow, that beautiful duck yellow. It is the CranKy Ducklings, Dolan.
And spawning in the top left hand corner of Gressman, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team NV. It is Mondo. And he has to bring it back. If he wants to take this series, he has to win 4 games in a row.
God, this is an 8-based map too. I'm smooching. This ball's gonna be rough, man.
You can't smooch right now, Papi. Dolan's winning, Papi. He's winning.
He is winning. He's showing me the way. I'm doing Dolan builds from now on.
You're like, I'm gonna make Hellbat species and pull the boys. But in fact, Dolan was messaging me. He's like, Papi, I was gonna pull the boys with the first BC, and then I saw the Nidus, so I just counted him.
Yeah. Oh, he already had them pulled.
Yeah,
oh, that's funny.
He was like, mate, I'm breaking him, Papi.
Yeah, that actually could have gone really badly now that I think about it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Regardless, Dolan has a pretty comfortable lead in this series, but it's a best of 7. This can still take a bit of a turn for the worst for the Ducklings and go the way of the Mondo. We'll see here if he can recover after that last game, because that was a pretty brutal last game.
Yeah, let's get a nice good look at this natural. If you can fit that entire natural wall in one screen.
True. I remember casting this with Yaku. I was like, oh my, it's gaping, Papi. It's
yeah.
It's insane. Like Protoss walling off here, or even Terran, regardless of what race, it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, this is gonna be really rough for TVP because you can't really protect your wall.
Yeah, it's just the screen.
I think you have to half wall.
Yeah, it's the entire screen for the natural. It's insane. We haven't seen natural like walls like this, or natural.
It looks like a Wings of Liberty map, doesn't it?
Well, we had something similar to this in Heart of the Swarm. It was I think it was Daedalus Point. It was vetoed by everyone.
No. Yeah. As we do see Dolan maybe getting a little bit cocky now as he gets further into the series. He's going to be losing that Reaper there to the Lynx.
Yeah, Reaper is going to be going down. So Mondo taking his first early win here is going to be able to keep his opponent in the dark. And we'll see where we go from here. Third base on the way. Everything's looking quite normal from the side of the Zerg. Once again, Dolan is opening up 1-1-1.
Yeah, so it is going to be a 1-1-1 once again. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be BCs again too. Wouldn't mind that either on this map. Once again, pretty wide map, lots of bases in pretty awkward positions. I'm not really sure how you would go about splitting this as Terran. I don't even know if you really can. So I think we're going to be looking for a bit of an aggression here early by Dolan as we see Mondo going to be coming back to this Overlord speed build. I really like this. I'm glad he's going to have a bit more confidence in his macro game in this game.
Yeah, like it could be possible that this is his go-to kind of opener in a macro ZVT, and on these new maps, on this new balance mod as well, I do think it is quite nice to do. And just like that, just like game number 1, he should be looking to go into the main and should be able to scout this fusion core.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. He is going to be setting up that Overlord, and with only one Marine to defend it, it will get that full scout. We see Dolan is going to be going for a safety Banshee. Looks like he's going to let it finish as well, and we'll be going into a pretty standard-looking BC build from here.
Yeah, and this makes plenty of sense, especially because Dolan is on match point. He doesn't want to throw away an early lead or this kind of lead in the series. He doesn't want to die to a Roach all in, so he does go for that safety Banshee, as you were saying. Meanwhile, the Overlord does spot the 1-1-1, may have even spotted the Banshee as it comes out, but he doesn't check the corner of the base, so he's not 100% certain it's BC, but he should be checking now.
Yeah, I mean, even with Overlord speed, it's gonna take a while to cover this main. Bloody massive main. It's so big.
It's huge, Papi. It's huge. It's beautiful. As the Overlord is actually going to be going down in the end, or it's quite close to going down. The Hellions, they do get a little bit of damage across the map. We do see a Roach Warren on the way already from Mondo. We'll see if he ends up cutting workers, as he finally does get eyes on the Fusion Core.
Yeah, so there we go. Sees the Fusion Core. Has a little bit of a tour. We got Mondo's tours going on through that whole main, and he is going to be able to pop back and maybe see those extra factories as well. This Marine's going to remind him that it's there.
Yeah, the Marine pushes the Overlord further into the main, and there we go. The factories have been scattered. Mondo is fully aware of the mech. And now we'll see if he has a different approach. Last time we went up against mech, we saw Roach Swarm Host coming out from him to mixed success. So we'll see if he has something else in store for us.
Yeah, immediately throws down a lot of gases, and I wonder if he's going to look to go for a muta response. I think that can be a very nice response here. And there we go. The Spire does go down. If you can get mutas going very early, this is an option that you have if you scout mech super early, is to try to jump on them with mutas before they can get too much anti-air up.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can pull that off. Meanwhile, the first BC goes into the main base. Is going to be able to target down some of these drones. Only 2-3 for the time being. Actually not too bad. 4 drones in total, and he keeps the BC alive.
Yeah, BC stays alive. We do have that second BC on the way. The Spire is going to be finishing on up, so don't think we're going to be seeing Swarm Host once again. And we do see it's going to be Roaches as the general ground defense as well. So I do like this, and he is droning pretty heavily behind this as well.
Oh, the Roaches are out of position, though, the Hellions. Okay, the drones were lining up, but the Queens were here to fend the Hellions away. Only Lings are going to be going down, but Dolan continues to threaten this area. Meanwhile, he hasn't scouted the tech yet, but he's doing a decent job here at just applying pressure and cleaning up whatever creep he can.
Yeah, good pressure, good clearing of that creep. Takes out all the Lings as well, so that does mean that these Hellions have quite a bit of map control now.
Yeah, they really do, as we're still ramping into this. More factories on the way. Yamato, as well as we made a second BC. I believe, yeah, there we go, the second BC. The first one is going to be dipping back in, and we do have an investment into Corruptors for the time being, and not Mutas.
Yeah, good focus fire coming out from Dolan. Just going to TP out of there as soon as he can, and there's Corruptors coming out to help deal with the BC, so Dolan going to have to get some turrets up at home to drop back on. Looks like that eBay is finishing up now, so he will be able to do that, and he's starting to consolidate his bases, and I like the idea of him sitting back a little bit more, considering how Mondo's been playing these last few games as well.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like, you don't want to be taking too many risks, especially because, again, he's one game away from just straight up ending the series. So he wants to play it safe. Meanwhile, he's going for a massive Hellion run by towards the south. Not a lot of creep is in this area. We do see Mondo at the same time pushing through the middle, and he's going to be able to catch one of these BCs.
Yeah, he does catch out the BCs. They still have that teleport available, so we are just going to be seeing the Yamato and the teleport. Oh, a little bit of a risky decision there from Dolan, and he's getting punished.
Yeah, that first BC was actually the one that came back home with the teleport.
Still on cooldown.
Yeah, it was still on cooldown, so one of those BCs is going to be punished and is going to go down. The Corruptors have been revealed here, and we'll see if Dolan goes back into BC production. For the time being, just going for Hellion Tank.
Yeah, it looks like Mondo trying to hit a little bit of a timing here with the Roaches, with those Corruptors as well. His Roaches going to be charging on into tank fire. Not the most effective biles either. Just going to be pushing that one BC back.
Oh yeah, but you know what? The Roach Ravager pushing on further even more. We do see the tanks are going down one after another, and there isn't enough buffer here. It looks like Mondo is breaking through.
Yeah, he is starting to break it through. The biles just landing short of that tank, but that tank is going to be going down to the Roaches. That's the last of the tanks in the third, and Mondo with a pretty decent economy behind this as well, so it doesn't really matter if he gets cleaned up here. It looks like he's done enough damage.
Yeah, exactly. 10 SCVs have gone down. A lot of lost mine time as well. The tank count almost reset, and Mondo can get ready for a bit of a second wave. Has to be careful with his rally, but again, he has a lot of Roaches left over. He's coming back in.
Yeah, Dolan's in a huge amount of trouble here. This is the problem with these double gas mech openers, is your economy is very fragile. If you get interrupted at all, it can be really hard to get back into the game.
Yeah, it really can be, and unfortunately we only have one BC as well, so the ability to fend off these Roaches and Ravagers is a little bit limited here for Dolan, as he's now reduced to only 2 mining bases. He's going to try and expand and take another. I believe he had, or was he forced to cancel his 4th CC? I think he was. Oh wait, no, never mind, it's right there.
He's hanging out.
He's just up in the air with the other. So yeah, he's going to be able to try and, he's going to be looking to try and just turtle on up and recover.
Yeah, looks like he recognizes he's not quite safe yet to take that 4th. He's going to have to edge those tanks forward, or maybe hoping that Mondo is going to be charging on in, which he does do. Loses a lot of Roaches initially to this fire. Good, Bile is going to be taking out some of these tanks, but there's not enough here, and that was a lot of units going down for Mondo.
Yeah, that was oh my god, a questionable push. The Ravagers even stick around a little bit too long. They all get cleaned up despite Mondo having a decent first engagement. This second one was a little bit overzealous.
Yeah, I mean, a couple more of those and Dolan can be back in this game. He's just going to have to sit back, repair, keep getting that tank count up. We do see the transition starting to happen into Magfield, and I think that's going to help him out quite a lot once he can get that going. We saw he got a lot of value against the Roaches of Mondo in that game on Ancient Cisterns using these Cyclones.
Definitely, he needs a little bit more time to get into that. Meanwhile, at least Mondo has learned from Ancient Cisterns as well. He's doing a better job at expanding, a better job at droning as well. He's, looking a little bit further into this game, not as much kind of short-term kind of play from him. So yeah, he's doing quite well, up to 90 drones.
Yeah, 90 drones and a hive on the way. This is definitely where you want to be playing against Mecha Zerg. And this BC going to be heading across, trying to get a bit of damage, but the Corruptors are still here.
Yeah, the Corruptors are going to be able to shut this down. We do have a teleport available. There we go. He is able to keep the BC alive, but wasn't able to really do too much with it. Just picked up a tumor here and there, dealt a little bit of damage to those Corruptors. But Mondo, he has maxed out. He is up 40 supply. He's getting ready to move on out. Dolan, though, he's not going to take this line down. He's going to go for another bit of a run by. Oh!
Yeah, decent run by. Good drone pull by Mondo there. Actually saves himself quite a lot of damage with that. It's going to be 6 drones going down, but for about 6 Hellions, not the worst trade. Pretty easy for Mondo to just re-drone up.
Yeah, he should be able to recover from here. Meanwhile, we do see Mondo already looking to pull Dolan apart. Dolan, he's looking a little bit exposed at his natural, actually. A lot of his army is towards the south, and Mondo knows it.
Yeah, nice diversion there from Mondo. He's going to be dragging some of the army back. Looks like Dolan does have a few of these tanks sieged up, and we are being a little bit trigger happy when it comes to these biles. Pretty good trades indeed. A lot of these Roach Ravagers going to be going down, but it looks like might have been the Corruptors taking out the natural there.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Corruptors did take down the CZ, so worth it in the end for Mondo, I have to say. It's kind of weird looking at the units tab here. Mondo, it felt like he was lacking a little bit in Roaches, maybe too many Ravagers. Like, his army was looking quite fragile, maybe too much supply in these Corruptors. Regardless, he did lose a lot in that push, but at least he got the CC.
Yeah, you got the CC. He's on plenty of economy as well. We see Dolan desperately with 6 in each gas in that natural, just trying to long distance mine as much gas as he can. Really needs to get himself back into this, and Mondo just going to continue to apply the aggression.
Yeah, once again, Dolan's a little bit weak here towards the natural. At the same time, Mondo pushes in towards the fresh mining base of Dolan, and Dolan is being pulled left and right. He's having a really hard time keeping up. It looks like he will be able to force this back, though. A lot of nice lock-ons, and he didn't lose too much.
Yeah, that was a pretty poor trade against the PF there for Mondo. That PF was doing some serious work, as were the turrets underneath the corruptors. He does have the kind of economy that he can get away with doing that a few times, but too many of those, and I think Dolan could get himself back into this game.
Yeah, like Dolan isn't out of this yet. Like Mondo's doing much better, don't get us wrong. He's even spreading creep on all the would-be bases here of Dolan. He's doing such a great job at just dominating the map overall. Just the fights are sometimes a little bit questionable, as this time Dolan is here, he is ready, but he's not sieged.
Yeah, he isn't siege. He's going to have to react quickly. Jumps out of the way of those biles. Not too many corruptors here to deal with the BC. I think the BC should have free reign if he can just get a quick repair. Oh, these riches not taking the best trades against sieged up tanks.
Oh my god. Once again, the entire army goes down. We can see Dolan taking a supply lead right now. And Mondo, it's his army compositions that I'm not really convinced by. He had like 3 Ravagers with that, so moving into a tank line is never something that you want to be seeing, and it looks like he doesn't want to, not anymore. He's transitioning into mass muta.
Interesting. He does have the air upgrades already, and there's a bit of a lack of Thors here for Dolan, but he has a decent amount of cyclones. And just reminding everyone as well, we are on the new patch, so those cyclones compared to the previous patch do bonus damage to mutas with the cyclone upgrade.
True. They do have much better anti-air. We do see a couple of scans being thrown down. The Greater Spire has been spotted, but is he aware? He hasn't spotted the muta flock yet. There aren't even any turrets here at the natural.
Yeah, this spells trouble for sure. Nothing here at the natural that's going to be able to deal with that. We do see Mondo once again using an attack on one side to open up the other side. Muta's going to be diving on straight in, takes out the full mineral line, and might even be able to put some damage on the CC.
Yeah, this may be the killing move, mate, because 15 SCVs just went down 2 tanks as well. The Cyclones are trickling on in. It looks like some of them are going to be going down in the process. Thor production has commenced, but these mutas, they're getting a bit out of control.
Yeah, I mean, this rotation is really tough here for Dolan. Doesn't have the room to get these Cyclones out of the way. That being said, the Cyclones with the upgrade, they kill mutas very fast.
Yeah, again, a really questionable fight there. Mondo, he didn't have to dive on the Cyclones the way that he just did.
Oh no. Yeah, these Cyclones, maybe before the patch, he might have been able to dive on them because they just did that little bit less damage to the mutas, but that did not work out at all for Mondo there. And now the Thors are here. We're down to only 2 mutas left, and if we can get a decent Thor count before those Broodlords come out, that could be something that Dolan can deal with.
Yeah, that was a questionable move by Mondo. Like, again, a really good start with those mutas. He was doing a lot of damage, and then maybe a little bit overconfident. Again, maybe not realizing how impactful the patch was to Cyclone specifically. And that was a lot of gas down the drain. That was 20 mutas. He is transitioning into Broodlords, and he still has a bank, don't get us wrong. Like, you were talking about it before. Mondo can afford to throw away some armies, but he's been throwing away a number of armies already.
Yeah, I mean, he can do this a few times, but I think we might be nearing the last time that he can get away with doing this.
It's like he do it a few times, but at this point, it's already been a few times, you know? Like, how many is a few times? We do see 7 Broodlords on the way, though. And again, Broodlords can do very well against these slow mech compositions, especially if there isn't enough anti-air, especially if there isn't good enough positioning from Dolan. Once again, the Broodlords, for the time being, are unscattered.
Yeah, looks like Mondo just looking to start trading out some of these roaches as well. He's just going to be sending those on a few attacks to these edge bases here. We do see a prioritization of Thors coming out from Dolan, so maybe he realizes that something like this might be on the way.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing about what happened, right? You were kind of talking about it yourself, about how the Mutas forced Thors, and now he's going into Broodlords, and now they're Thors. Like,
Yeah.
was this the wisest choice from Mondo? He kind of forced Dolan's hand in a way, and now Dolan is ready for this.
Yeah, but there we go. Mondo is able to get rid of those roaches, so he's just going to be going very, very heavily into these Broodlords here. He gets a nice angle here as well, a nice concave on these Thors. The Thor's getting a little bit stuck behind the tanks.
Yeah, they're kind of getting stuck on each other here. The units are having a bit of a hard time pushing on through and getting on top of these Broodlords, but Dolan is not stopping, by the way. He has the momentum. He wants to push on through and get on top of these bases. How good is the target firing on top of these Broodlords?
Wow, he is starting to break through the Broodlords. The Broodlords are targeting the Thors,
Yeah.
but the Thors, if they can make sure that they're getting on top of these Broodlords, no, it looks like there might just not be enough. Dolan is trying to make a fighting retreat here.
Yeah, exactly. There just aren't enough Thors. There isn't enough anti-air support here to deal with every single one of these Broodlords. Terran, Dolan is being forced back.
Yeah, we see another Thor going to be going down, so there are still 3 Thors here. I do like the idea of maybe taking out these Corruptors so that the Vikings can start dealing with the Broodlords, but he is really being pushed back now, and he is bleeding off army as he goes.
Yeah, he's bleeding off a lot, as you were saying. We do have Vikings coming in to support, and it looks like Dolan wants to try and make his final stand here. He's trying to power on through. The Vikings are going to eventually be able to take control of the air, though, but, oh, God, the Thors are falling.
Yeah, there's really just not enough to protect these tanks. The tanks are going to be going down. Really nice focus fire coming out from Mondo, taking out all those Thors with the Broodlords. The last one of them goes down. These tanks being trapped by the Broodlings as well.
Yeah, exactly. And as we see, the Broodlord switch in the end, it did work out here for Mondo. He is fighting back, and Mondo is looking to put a point on the board.
Yeah, it is starting to look that way indeed. Dolan desperately trying to save his 5 bases, but the turrets are going down. The tank line is completely diminished here. And yeah, there we go. Actually going to be a Ling Flood to finish this off really nice from Mondo. His tech switches were quite effective this game, even if some of his attacks were not.
Yeah, it's oh my God, his attacks were quite questionable, but his economy was good enough in the end. And now Dolan, he's knocked down to 3 mining bases, or really 2 mining bases. Would you see the last stand of Dolan at his natural? He's trying to trade his heart out. He's trying to focus down the Broodlords as best he can, but GG gets called, and Mondo takes game number 4.
GG. Mondo gets 1 on the board. And all off the back of very nice early game.
Oh, very nice early game indeed. And personally, I'm quite happy because I, as much as biased as I want to be for my boys, I didn't want to see kind of a washout. I didn't want to see a 4-0 on either end. So Mondo is fighting back. Clearly, his mental was not broken after losing to the 2-base BC Hellbat All-In.
And I'm sure he's landed on Korea before. Hellbats, BCs, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
We've been there.
It's all fine, Papi. It's we're used to it, Papi. We're used to it. So
And we like it.
Ay. Oh my God. So here we go. That means also we get to experience some more of these new maps. The next game, game number 5, is going to be on Royal Blood. This time, small map, Papi. Small map. Oh.
It's still not that small.
Make them smaller, Papi. Bring me back, Beckett Industries.
Yes, please.
You're
No, maybe not that small. That map's kind of silly.
You're an animal.
How about just a nice oxide?
Oxide
us
wasn't that
Oxide.
small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you thinking of like Submarine? Do you remember Submarine? That was awful. That was. Oh.
I mean, I'm trying to think if Submarine's even better for Terran. I think Oxide was just so good because it's 6 bases and you can split it.
Oh yeah. We had a lot of split map scenarios on Oxide. the worst part. But here we go, game numero 5, number 5 here on Royal Blood. Oh. Show me the world.
I can show you the Dolan spawning here in the top right, in the yellow befitting a duck. It's Dolan.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Your turn.
Oh no, I don't know the lyrics. I hold you, Mondo.
Yeah, let's go.
A new exciting point of view. It's a non-Terran. They're all gone. But in the bottom left, representing Team Envy, we have Mondo. Getting proxy raxed.
Yeah, here we go. Dolan says, new maps, forget about it. We are not going to see the map features. I'm just going to try to kill you.
It's a map. This is a map feature.
I like this fountain.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but like they're on their flying carpets as well. Like
Yeah.
the carpets in the
Fountain looks very Greek. It looks like an Athenian forum.
Yeah,
The seats look way bigger than the fountain.
Look, there's some big people sitting here at the fountain. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but there's like this little fence or this kind of railing as well, like the marble
apartment
pillars.
buildings.
Yeah, the apartment buildings.
War-torn apartment buildings. Look at the other side.
Look, we don't
to the right.
we don't talk about the people that we fight on top of. Okay. They're beneath us.
I never thought about that.
The jug, it's beautiful.
The jugs.
Oh.
Don't break it, Dolan. Be gentle.
Oh my god, here we go. So we do have the creep actually going to be covering and delaying some of those bunkers, but here we go. It is of course a proxy 2x. The boys are being pulled. This was a bit of a late scout from Mondo, but he's going to be able to kill a bunker.
Oh, the re-wall with the depot, very nice. I mean, the changes to the workers is going to help a little bit with microing these drones as well. So they are a lot more microable on this new patch, but it looks like this wall is going to be going up. This is something we've seen Dolan do before on Cosmic Sapphire, and it's a very nice way to play the 2-racks. Not something that you see very often at all either.
Yeah, exactly. And this has been trading so well. So many Lings just went down, 5 drones as well. Dolan has taken a bit of a worker lead. We do have a spine crawler being set up though, and Mondo does now have 2 queens to help support this, but the hatchery is sustaining some damage. Mondo, he's gonna have to pull the trigger soon.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-racks proxy is not really normally this committed, and you really can't take too much damage to it either, so this is a very difficult hold for Mondo.
Yeah, exactly. Like as you were saying, you know, Dolan, he can transition quite easily from here. We have a factory on the way as well across the map. The hatchery is getting quite low here. The boys are being pulled. Up.
The boys are being pulled. We have to break right here, right now, but the hatchery, it goes down. Dolan has done the damage. He is taking out so many drones as well. These Lings, they are going to continue to be kited, and Mondo here in a terrible position, fighting for his life in this show match.
Exactly. This is disastrous. As you were saying, it's a proxy 2-racks, not 3, not 4. We cannot afford to lose a hatchery right now, and Mondo is being forced into an all-in position.
Yeah, and that was a lot of Lings that just got shaved off there fighting that depot. That is not really something you want to be losing Lings over, and the Marines almost outnumbering the Lings here. They are going to keep them trapped in the base. I don't know what you do here as Mondo.
Yeah, I don't know either. You know, he has Ling speed, so I guess he can go for a Ling flood. He can go for a Baneliness, I guess, but he has pulled out of gas, so only minerals to work with right now. Trying to expand from this position is going to be nigh impossible. For the time being, he is rushing across the map though.
Yeah, Ling speed kicks in. He's going to be rushing across the map, but Dolan, he's watching. He is aware he's going to be taking down a lot of these Lings as he gets those last few Marines back to safety. And there we go. Every Ling going to be going down just like that.
And is that it? Is that it right now? We are getting a scout on the main base. Dolan just confirming there's no additional gases, there's no roach warren, there's no lair. There's no Baneling left. There's nothing here. Mondo, he's just gonna try and re-drone, and he's down to 40. He's down 10 workers.
Can you go back to that part of the map where we saw the Lings fight the Maroons?
Oh.
There's doubloons.
Yeah,
They got the Punisher face on them.
Ah!
Oh, GG is called. And Dolan, with his nasty 2-racks, gets the win and the series.
GG, well played. Dolan shows us a whole new world, mate. He comes out here with the mech, with some cheese, but also with some strong and powerful macro play. Dolan, he did it all. He even went for the Thor drops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't snipe a layer with them, so
He didn't.
not quite as exciting as a Quanta Thor drop, but we got a taste.
We did get a taste of what is to come. Congratulations, as Dolan, the Danger Dolan himself, takes the series 4-1.
Jeez, Dolan gets it done. But we did see very nice showcase of all those different maps and a little bit of the patch as well. We get to see those fancy cyclones.
We saw the fancy cyclones. We saw the stutter stepping hydras, if you recall, in game number 1. We saw a little bit here and there. Unfortunately, we didn't see any lunkers. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Or any of the smaller ultras. I guess we got to see some of the brood lords, and they are a little bit faster. Bear that in mind. I know we kind of failed to mention that at the time, but yeah, GG, well played. I'm really proud of Dolan. I know coming into this, I was a little bit worried just because so little is known about Mondo. There's very little like broadcasted information about him, so I didn't really know what to expect. I was a little bit anxious coming into this series.
Yeah, and I mean, an unknown Zerg as well can definitely be a little bit scary. But Dolan gets it done and shows us a nice little variety of builds as well. Got to see some 8-racks all in, some mech, some cheese.
Oh,
it was all there.
Yeah. Everything you want, Papi. And yeah, you can even see him right here. I didn't get to show it off here, but of course on my left I have the Dolan, and on my right I have the Mondo. So yeah, really well played there to Dolan. He woke up very early in the morning. He woke up like 20 minutes before the match. I was really scared. I was messaging him being like, wake up, Papi, wake up. And he did. I was like, get some food. And he's like, no, all I need is Monster.
I will eat the Zerg.
I will feed on the Zerg, Papi. And I'm really proud of it. Really proud.
Yeah, very well done there, and it was a fun series.
Oh, very fun series. Oh my god! And
the raid.
I want to give a bit of a shout out as well. Massive shout out to Jinio for the raid. Thank you so much. Of course, Jinio was casting in Korean. You didn't have to do that. We were gonna raid you. Thank you though. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Means you have to ladder now, like.
Oh no. You're like 2v2, Poppies. 2v. It's 1 a.m. you animal. Stop it. Oh my god. But yeah, you know, be sure to not just support Dolan, you know, he's of course a wonderful duckling, but massive shout out to Universe. Universe is the person who provided the prize pool and is running these show matches. Exclamation mark B in the chat, I believe, sends you to the Wikipedia page, and you can see yourself that he's been running multiple show matches throughout this year and even the end of 2022 as well. And we may try and, you know, do our best to cover them whenever we can, even if there isn't a duckling involved. You know, it's always great to see, you know, these maybe lesser known players get a little bit of limelight.
Get Migs in there. Get him in there.
Yeah. Oh my god. If we got Migs, who would we want to see him against? Who do we pit him against?
Ooh.
Genio.
No.
No.
Against. Give him. Oh, I'm blanking so hard on the name.
Oh my god. 3 points.
Nah. He would farm 3-point Barbie.
Who are you thinking of? What race?
Give him DRG. I was thinking of Sue, actually.
Give him Sue wouldn't be too bad, actually. I think they could be pretty well matched against each other. I'm thinking Sue. I'm thinking Armani, maybe Armani.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't want a mirror matchup. And I don't want him to smudge either. I don't know if I should suggest like Nightmare, you know? Oh boy. Regardless, yeah, thank you so much to Universe for running this event and for giving some love to some of these players, to some of these lesser known players. For those wondering, this was a pretty big prize pool, and both the winner and the loser walk away with something. Dolan walks away with 100 USD. Mondo walks away with 50 USD. So not a bad split there. Not a bad prize pool.
Beautiful and well deserved. They put on a good show.
Yes, very good show. Very good show. Oh, with that, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Asher, who are you, and where can we see you? Where can we see you? Hopefully, with a camera.
Who am I?
Oh.
Good question. I need to ask myself.
Oh.
I am a Terran, and I will sometimes stream on Twitch at /AsherBro. I have no idea when. Probably not tomorrow. I want to be a human puppy. I'm going to leave my house and touch the grass.
What does that mean? Don't lie to me. What do you... You want to touch grass?
I'm going to breathe there.
Oh my god, you're gonna die.
Animal.
So I wish you the best of luck in your journey and adventure into the outside world. Stay in touch. If you go missing, we'll send out a rescue party.
Rescue duck.
I'll send out a rescue chappie. He'll he'll find you, puppy. He'll find you. So yeah, check out AsherBro. He's a GM. He's a Terran GM on the North American server, so you can follow him for some of that GM action and support him and keep him from smudging. It's almost impossible, but do your best. Meanwhile, you can follow me at light_VIP. I stream throughout the week. I try to stream throughout the week, and my next stream is probably going to be on Monday. Just because Saturday and Sunday we're going to be casting. We're going to be busy, so probably not going to be streaming over the weekend, but we'll see. And you can follow me there if you're interested. Otherwise, follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We stream throughout the week with plenty of StarCraft action. World Team League is coming back soon, and this week we're going to be continuing our Home Story Cup coverage.
Beautiful. So if you want to catch some of those games from the Home Story Cup that might not have been covered, and there were quite a lot of them, we will be going through as much of those as we can
before the patch
over at the CranKy Ducklings.
Yes.
I mean, the patch, it's not coming.
Yeah, it's never coming, Bobby. It's never coming. Yes. If you want to tune in, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. I'm going to be casting alongside Yakuzaku. We are going to be covering the, I think it's Group D. We're going to be covering Group D of Home Story Cup. That is Scarlet, Raynor, Sue, Patty Mac, a laser, Trigger, and many more. So we are going to be covering Group D. So if you want some of that D, tune in tomorrow.
How could you not?
Aye. With that, Asher, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Oh, if you are having a first date and you want somewhere to take your gal or guy pal, you should go to a lemonade stand, because you never quite know what you're going to get, and it tells them that, you know, when they're with you, that it's going to be exciting and different every time.
We'll see. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye bye.